This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach. A trip to the state fair. And a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Propel Fitness Water. With Gatorade electrolytes, zero sugar, and vitamins, Propel hydrates better than water to help you get the most out of your workout and get back to your best self. What propels you? Propel with Gatorade electrolytes.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coach Unplugged. I am so happy that you decided to join us. If you like this podcast, you should go over and listen to a bunch of the other ones in our network, with like the 5-Minute Basketball Coaching Podcast, or High School Hoops, or Coaching Youth Hoops. All of those are, I think, interesting, and we would love if you left a 5-star review. You can leave those 1-star reviews at home. But before we jump into the topic today, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish. Mention Coach Unplugged, and you'll get $450 off. You'll get great customer service. It is, I can tell you from someone that's still coaching, it has helped my team immensely. I can't tell you the number of shots that we have taken on our Dr. Dish machines. And then also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. 25 years ago, when I took over a program that no one wanted, that had 5 winning seasons in 35 years, I was the only applicant. No one wanted it. I would have killed for a resource like teachhoops.com. It took me years to turn it into a national powerhouse. And I have put all that secret sauce inside of teachhoops.com. So come over and check it out. 14-day free trial. It will give you the roadmap. It will give you me. It will give you one-on-one calls and office hours, and a community of like-minded coaches. I think you'll love it. Let's head off to the podcast. All right. Welcome to Coach Unplugged, episode. Who has any idea? Just kidding. I was just talking with Coach about how many I've done. So Coach Gruber, I'm going to have you kind of explain your basketball journey, just because I find it easier for people to kind of, where did you start? How did you start? And then kind of introduce yourself, and then we'll take it from there.
Well, I started kind of like everybody else. I played when I was younger. I loved it. Played a little older when I was kind of beer league type of thing. But never coached. Had a couple kids, and on my side of the family, they're very much into Ukrainian dancing, so I volunteered there. Then my son just
how was that? So explain what that is.
Well, Ukrainian dancing.
Yeah.
Well, it's there's a whole dance culture. If you've ever sort of people think of river dance with Irish culture, there's a Ukrainian culture. There's a quite a large dance cultural group.
Okay.
And
it's a group thing. It's a group.
It's a group thing, and it's you'll have a group in almost every city, particularly the cities that are larger Ukrainian immigrant populations. From many years ago, on my wife's side of the family, her parents immigrated from her grandparents, immigrated from Ukraine a long time ago, became farmers, and then the other dozens and dozens of families that came from that part of the world. They decided to create a little Ukrainian dance group. It's called Zirka here, where I'm based. Okay. And they hire instructors, very similar to basketball. They hire instructor would come out once a week. They teach them 1 or 2 or 3 dances, and then they would go to competitions where there'd be a judge, and they would rank them from silver, gold, that kind of thing. And you would costumes, the whole 9 yards. So it was basically a choreographed show. And then at the end of the year, you'd have usually have a mid-season show, and then an end of the year show, concert, and it'd be a whole event. So my daughter was 4 years old when we started, because she's her mother danced, her aunt danced, her uncle danced. They were it was kind of expected to be in there, and they started as young as 4, and they usually go till my daughter's actually still dancing. She's 23 now. She still dances with the group.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Well, it's great exercise, great coordination. My son did it for quite a few years, and then he decided he wanted to do sports. Right. That happens a lot with boys.
But I'm getting, you know, I say everyone should. I bet it helped his footwork. I bet it helped his, like, all that rhythm stuff at the young ages.
Well, and the partner work. Like, if you think about it, you're the boys in the Ukrainian dance are usually the ones doing the lifting. Even the young guys are lifting the girls and moving and placing them. So they're doing that, and the stunts, you know, jumps, the you know, doing your feet and all, like getting down, doing your kicks. You know, you definitely get in shape if you stick it out, and you certainly learn with working with other people, position, spacing, timing. So yes, I've actually had a few girls that I know were Ukrainian dancers that are turned into basketball players that I coached.
I bet that.
And they're really good.
So I bet they're very good. I bet they're very good. So we'll come back to your journey in a second, but I'm going to go off like a little bit on a side road for a second. I think no matter, and people always ask me this question, is kids at that age from 4 to 11 should be doing multiple things. They should be playing multiple sports. They should be experimenting with multiple movements. They should be doing different. So this is a parenting thing, but it's true. Like, you're trying to develop both physical and mental different things, you know, put them in the arts, put them in the reading, all that stuff. First of all, if you're only thinking about athletics, it definitely makes them a better athlete. They're less likely to get injured. They're using more movements. You know, it's the kids that only play basketball in 3rd grade. That's a problem. It's you got to do more and more things, because it's just
different muscle groups. Like the girl I was describing earlier, Hannah. She never played on a team before. I was coaching her first time on a team, and the first time she touched the ball and she went for a layup, like she was like born to do it. Like, it was one of those things where she just it wasn't, I don't know if it had anything to do with her dance, but it's certainly, her timing was completely different compared to other first-year players who never touched the ball. And had nothing to, and she never, you know, she probably played around with her brother a little bit, maybe a little bit at gym, but she never played on a team. And it's instantly useful in terms of, like, helpful to the team and helpful to everybody else. And it had nothing to do with my coaching. It had to do with what she did before. Right. So I think the skills are transferable, a lot more transferable, you know, from some physical activities to others, like soccer players, football players. Some of my best basketball players were guys who played football. Right. Like, just remarkable. And their mindset of being coached. So in Ukrainian dance, for example, you have to listen to your instructor. Otherwise you're bumping into other people. It shows. Whereas we're a little more random sometimes on the basketball court, like herding cats we talked about earlier. But the point is, you know, if it's talking about spacing, movement, and coordination with other bodies, there's lots of ways of doing that. Other sports, and of course, other activities like dance.
Right. No, I agree. Okay. I'm sorry. I'd never heard of that, so I wanted to dive into that. Okay. So keep going on your journey here with your
all right. So I took a little break there when I had kids to focus on that part of my life. And then my son came up to me, he was around, I think 10 or 11. He said, you know, I want to try basketball. And we went to our first tryouts, and I loved it. I missed it so much. It was something I hadn't been doing for a while because of, you know, young father. I really wanted him to do well, and he went in there, and I was one of those little bit overbearing parents on the sidelines. I was the guy who talked too much. I was the guy who defense and call out things, and I was that guy. I was a big loudmouth on the side, and I suddenly realized I'm not helping. You know, it took me a while. I was like, if you're going to be that active in that means there's something else in you that you need to do. So I volunteered to be assistant coach, team manager first of all, manager because it got me to shut up because I was doing the score sheet.
Yeah, I did that. Trust me, I did that too. I always kept the scoreboard or the score sheet because it made me be quiet. Like,
exactly.
No, it's the best thing. If you're a vocal parent, that's the best way. Help out. Yes, that's.
It's made me very sympathetic to parents who are vocal. Like, I kind of know what they're like because I was you, and I know how to talk to them a little bit better and say, you know, get them to focus their energies. Hey, it looks like you want to do this. If you want to be more involved, here's how you can do it. An assistant coach where I got to be a lot more vocal, and depending on the coach I work with, I try to, you know, not take lead, but certainly compliment them, learn how to do that. And also kind of learn the system. It was very useful to do those things, because as a manager, you learn all the little interactions that, how to, what kids' names are, the rosters, filling out the score sheets, the scoring methods, how many timeouts you get, all that junk, how to work with refs a little bit. Then as assistant coach, you take another step. And then when I decided to go to head coach, that was 3 years later. What happened was I coached for community groups, and they had so many girls, which is unusual at U13, the 12-year-olds. They had so many. They had 3 teams this season in our county that season. And they had so many, they ran out of coaches. They just didn't have anybody that wanted to step up. So I said, I'll step up, because I was planning on doing it anyways. So my very first season was like the third group of kids that were kind of the other two got recruited. The other 2 teams got to kind of pick their players, and I got the third.
I refer to him as a team of misfit toys.
God!
Ever watched
yeah.
Seen that? I don't know what
Christmas special.
Was.
Yes.
Yes.
Island of Misfit Toys. Yeah, it's exactly that. And I had a lot of ambitions and thoughts, and I was, very excited, and I got very humble. We had both really, really good highs and success, because I had a great bunch of kids. Their attitudes were perfect. And then really big lows where, in one sense, I think one time we were trying to place, like we had moved up a division, we had moved up within the season, and in our league, you actually get reshuffled a couple times. So if you're overperforming in your little grouping, they'll move you up a grouping in the community, or move you down. It's like soccer. Exactly. And it's great because you have little micro goals within every round. But we were at the main round, and we had to beat this team to kind of finish and have a good, strong setting. And I prioritized it a little too much, and I didn't play some kids as much, and it caused some drama. And it was, it was almost like the perfect first season until that point. And I brought it on myself a little bit. I didn't handle it well. And it was a big down. It was one of the, I had this big high and this big low.
Right.
But I made it
welcome
through.
to coaching, Coach.
Yeah. Well, the league was so good to me. Like the president of the league and everybody that, talked about it. We worked it out and said, it was more along the lines of just kind of setting your expectations and kind of realizing just what you're doing, especially in community league, where it's one practice a week, one game a week, and that's all you got.
Right.
And you have to really understand, it's not just about what's happening on it's not about so much about scoring. It's not so much about playing time. It's more about, are you kind of involving the kids in a way that they're going to grow from season to season? So I had to change my focus from that game and even that season to multiple seasons. Like I had to, once I started looking, okay, I want this kid to be a really good player in 3 or 4 seasons, or 2 or 3 seasons. Once I changed my goals, it changed what I needed to do on the court, both in practice and at games.
More like being a parent. It's more like being a parent.
It's a great example. Yeah, that's a great example.
It really is, because it's like you want to make sure when they leave that they're good when they leave. It's development. Let's go back to, so you went from that team, and then what happened?
Well, I started to that particular year. I also started coaching a second team. So we had our junior high school, my son's team. They needed a coach, so I volunteered to do that. So I was doing community and junior high, grade 8s, 9s, and that one was a little different because I got to do 3 practices a week, 2 to 3 practices a week, and then 2 or 3 games a week. So I got to really kind of explore you have a lot more time. I got to try that on. And it was a different league, a metro league. So it was, but I discovered I like coaching 2 teams. I like the differences of having 2 levels. So since that day, every season, every fall, winter season, I've been coaching at least 2 teams. Different age divisions, sometimes boys, sometimes girls, sometimes both, sometimes, just depending on what I'm doing. And it's really, I found out that, it's a way of really getting a lot of experience in a very short period of time. There's a little logistical issues, but typically the league, they know me, they know that I'm doing this, and they've been good at scheduling games. So it's I can make it one to the other. But it forces me to have spend some time with my assistant coaches to make sure they're ready, in case I can't make the game, right? Because I have another game. That's happened a couple of times. but generally speaking, it's that's been the only conflict. Other than that, I love being in the gym, coaching the kids. So if I can do it twice a week, I can't think of a better way to spend my time than helping raise the kids of my community. So
right.
No,
it is. What's the hardest part about having one practice and having one practice and then maybe one game a week? What's the hardest conceptual as a coach? What's the hardest thing with that, you think?
Well, if I'm like all the other coaches out there, I watch a ton of videos, college level, pro level, boys, girls, whatever. I watch a ton. There's a lot of great ideas I'd love to try and do and explore. I just simply don't. You simply don't have that. You can't recruit the same kids. You're not going to hit that level. You have to. The hardest thing is sort of getting really good at what you want to do at that level and kind of that level of expectation. So, like I mentioned, I coached the little 7-8-year-olds. What were my goals for that? Well, my goals were I want them feeling like they played basketball by the end of the season, by the end of that year. That felt and looked like a game by the end of it, and we managed to do that. So, but that had nothing to do with 3-point shots or post pivot moves. We did some stuff just to show them, kind of have a fun with it and introduce it to them. But I did run any plays. I had a very simple split play. 2 kids stack and stack. Just 2 kids. That's it. The rest of the kids could do what you want. You had to scale it down compared to running like a horn set or a chin series. As I get older, even with the older kids, I still have beginners who are 13, 14-year-olds who are first time playing, and they're on my team.
Right.
And we got to give them playing time. So, I have to really simplify my offense to be something that is that everyone in the court kind of knows what where they're supposed to be, kind of. And if somebody can't make it because they're sick or injured and rolled an ankle, I can substitute. We still have a team that kind of knows what they're doing, that doesn't look lost. So
right.
I get good compliments where I get referees that play ref community balls, and they say your team's well coached, and that is like a really big compliment for me.
Yes, that feels great. So explain how your community program works. Like, is there a leader of it? Do kids come? Does everybody get to play? Like, explain how because I think it's different. I think people are intrigued by how that works sometimes.
Well, it's fairly in Canada, which is where I'm based out of. They're trying to standardize it now. There's regional variations, of course, but mine in the Edmonton area, which is where I'm based out of, there's an Edmonton Youth Basketball Association, and they're the parent league, and all the other leagues, the towns and communities have their own clubs, basically.
So all of Edmonton has a lead thing.
Has a big parent league, yes. So
you're in the category of that.
Yes. So we're a member of that parent league. So the Leduc Lightning, which is the Leduc County Association that I coach for directly, we're part of the Edmonton League.
And someone runs that, though. Someone runs that. So the Edmonton League is run by Edmonton volunteers, usually other association members, just like me. Right.
Somebody that steps up to be president, somebody steps up. So it's a volunteer-run organization. I think they might have some staff.
Okay.
They actually have Edmonton recently over COVID. They actually built their own facility, so they were renting local gymnasiums and from schools and from colleges, universities. They've been renting them, so they actually got their own. They built 3 gymnasiums, 3 courts inside a large warehouse facility, basically. And they've been using that, and it's been wonderful. So, this is it's volunteer run. These guys they love the sport, and they spend a lot of time. It's a really well run league.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you love it and you want to support us, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. 14-day free trial as we talk. Subscribe, like, jump up and down, do whatever you got to do. Those Apple podcasts mean a lot to us. I read every one of them. Have a great day.
NFL football season is here, which means when you switch to Verizon, it feels like touchdown, because you get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us when you buy an eligible 5G phone on select unlimited plans, which means you can watch every out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon, and it's all on us. Now that's the Verizon way to kick off the NFL football season right. Switch and get NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube on us, only with Verizon.
Avatar: Fire and Ash is now streaming on Disney+. It's the film critics are calling the best Avatar yet.
Go, 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 go!
A true epic and completely jaw-dropping.
This is the only pure thing in this world.
Return to Pandora on Disney+.
It will be an adventure for the whole fam.
And watch the Oscar-winning phenomenon at home.
This is sick!
Avatar: Fire and Ash, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.